So today, folks, I have the pleasure of speaking with a physical offensive lineman. He's a 6'7", 290-pound tank who also plays basketball. He and his team made a strong state championship this season. He is from Kearny, Nebraska, playing for the Kearny Bearcats. Offensive tackle Turner Bertrand. How are you today, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Very well, very well. Thank you again for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. I kind of want to get into your high school experience and what you had going on first. So, kind of take me through your recruiting, how recruiting worked out for you at the start of the season.
Yeah. So coming into my senior year, I only had just a bunch of Division II offers, and then as I did my senior season, I got some D1 attention, and then in November, Washington State hit me up for an official visit. So and then from there, it was just I knew it was home.
That's awesome. It looks like you had offers for Minnesota State, Missouri Western State, your hometown there at Nebraska Kearney, Pittsburgh State, Sioux Falls, Wayne State, West Texas A&M. One of the questions I really like to ask guys, especially you having an offer so close to your hometown, what made you decide to not want to stay home? And then when you came and visited Pullman, what really drew you to Pullman, and how did you know it was home?
I love it here in Kearny, but I knew I kind of wanted to spread my wings a little bit, and just after I took the visit, I just couldn't pass up on the opportunity.
You just knew it was home, ready to rock and roll, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What was your favorite college team growing up? I mean, you being in Nebraska, you got to see some pretty cool college football down there, I'm sure.
The Cornhuskers, for sure.
I figured. Have you paid attention to much of them this season?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of changes, though, once you become a Coug, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You were the number 2 ranked tackle in the entire state of Nebraska. The only other guy above you committed to Texas Tech. But what does it mean to you to have that ranking at number 2? In my opinion, you should be number 1. But what does that ranking at number 2 mean to you?
It feels awesome. Just like, I don't know, it just feels awesome to be recognized for my play, and that's awesome.
It is, and knowing that you're getting ready to go off and play D1 ball, I think you got a bright future ahead of you.
Thank you.
With your basketball season getting ready to start up, I don't know if you've already started it, but I would imagine somebody of your size, you're playing a lot of power forward center type deal.
Yeah, I'll play a lot of center, 2-3 zone. I'll be in the middle, or I'll man up against their big guy and get some rebounds, all that good stuff.
You consider yourself a strong shooter or more of a defensive guy?
Not a shooter. Not at all.
Basketball, it seems like was another strong love for you. Are you looking to turn out here at Wazzu and play some ball as well?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah. There's always walk on.
maybe in like the rec league or something.
Oh, there you go.
Something.
What is it like playing basketball up there in your hometown?
It's awesome. We have great fans. We have a really good team this year. All my teammates I've played with since I was like elementary school, so it's awesome.
A lot of AAU ball type deal with each other.
Yeah, a lot of summer ball.
That's awesome, and that's how you know that you're building chemistry. That's pretty cool. Your high school program finished with a 10-2 overall record. You guys were 4-0 in district, and you guys were first overall in your district. And you finished with the number 7 ranking in the entire state of Nebraska. And I'm going to get into all your guys' games, but kind of the oversight of your guys' statistical season. What did that mean for you, and what really went right for the Bearcats this season?
All throughout my freshman and my junior year at Kearny High, we've lost in the first round of the playoffs. And then to make a deep run, that was just great to set the standard of what Kearny High football should be like.
Do you think it's going to continue on after you and the rest of the seniors leave?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Leaving a lasting impact. Are you the only one off your high school team that's getting ready to go play collegiately?
Oh, no, my cousin Reese Bertrand. He's a defensive end. He's playing at UNK. And then another linebacker is going to UNK. And then one of my other buddies is going to K-State.
Oh, right on. I was going to ask because I did notice Reese in quite a bit of the logs that I was looking at, a lot of the box scores. So I wasn't sure what the relation was, but that's pretty awesome. So what was it like getting to play with your cousin throughout the season?
Oh, it was great. We would go out and practice. He was, like, in my opinion, maybe the best edge rusher in the state. So it was like iron sharpens iron, really.
And you got to go against him every day in practice. I mean, really honing your skills. Not only that, I'm sure there was a lot of the cousin rivalry too of, I'm going to whip you and he's going to whip you type deal. So first game of the season, you guys got it started against, and pardon me if I kind of fudge up some of the names, but North Platte. You guys go in there and win in a shutout, 20-0. And I noticed, kind of looking at some of these stats, and the more I get into, Griffin Novacek seemed like more of a dual threat quarterback than anything.
Oh yeah.
So
he can really run.
You guys didn't. I mean, and that's kind of nice having that where you don't have to give him a whole heck of a lot of time, and he's making something happen with his legs. It seems like he did a lot of that throughout the season.
Yeah.
So in total against North Platte, you guys only gave up 2 total sacks on offense on the offensive line. That's pretty good to start out the season, first game of the year. And then you guys had 3 touchdowns total, 2 in the air and 1 on the ground. Were you guys really able to control the line of scrimmage all year because your sack numbers were incredibly low as a team?
Yeah, I think our guard tackle, guard center relationships and chemistry were just really good, and that's what made us a good offensive line.
Is that kind of how it started too with the basketball season? You guys played a lot of, I would assume, up here in Washington, we have a ton of Pop Warner, so kind of like the Pop Warner deal. You guys got to play from a young age all the way up to and finish up high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think with having that set, you're going to be able to have a lot of chemistry coming in right off the bat?
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Then it looks like we get going. You guys take a trip over to Grand Island. Is that your guys' rival?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look like much of a rivalry game when you go up there and smack them 42-0.
Yeah. They upset us in the playoffs last year, so it was
a revenge game.
Yeah, revenge game.
How many times did you split? Have you always gotten the better half at least of Grand Island since you've been at Kearny?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we went 1-1 my sophomore year, and I think, or no, we went. Shoot, that's a good question. Last year we went 1-1, and then this year we went 1-0.
Oh, right on. You didn't catch him in the playoffs at all.
No.
In that game, Novacek just was throwing dimes. His yard numbers didn't really show anything, but I mean, 8 for 10, 80% completion percentage is awesome. 2 touchdowns, and then you guys have a stud running back named Sam Noctegal. 18 rushes for 135 yards, and then you guys are able to help him put 4 total touchdowns on the ground, and you guys finished with the total yardage on the ground at 293 yards. What went right in that game for you guys?
Honestly, I just think the physicality in the line of scrimmage, we just dominated that the whole game. So
your guys' it just looked like you were honed in, ready to rock and roll, the entire team.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip the next game. I don't really want to talk about Millard South because we'll have a conversation about them later. But then you guys go to Omaha North, and you guys win it close, and it looks like a tough game, 13-6. Kind of another one. It doesn't really look like Novacek was able to get much going through the passing game. But when you have a quarterback that can tuck and run for 18 rushes on 98 yards, it looks like you guys were able to get him going in some sort of aspect. What is it like playing tackle with a quarterback that can just take off out of the pocket? Do you begin to kind of know that if you guys have to give some cushion that he's going to take off and run?
Yeah, for sure. If a guy gets through, Griffin's going to outrun him. So
is he what grade is he in?
He's a senior.
Oh, right on. Is he done, I would assume, after this?
Yeah, he's going to play baseball at Iowa Western.
Oh, no kidding! So more of a baseball star than football star. I mean, he looks like a great football player, but into
Yeah.
baseball more. And then I guess little side deal too. What about Noctigal? Is he a senior as well?
Yeah, he's wrestling at UNK.
Oh, no kidding! I love wrestlers,
Yeah.
man. Love wrestlers.
Yep.
So then let's get into Lincoln East. You guys win that game 27-12. That's another one. Novacek just led the charge on the ground. He had 17 rushes for 153 and a touchdown. Having a quarterback get over anywhere near 100 yards in a game is just absolutely incredible. And it seemed like he was Mr. Consistent at that. You guys were able to control the line of scrimmage entirely the entire year. With having guys that could pretty much come in a rotation and run that ball, does the game plan change for you guys, or is it kind of the same thing of see guy, block guy, make holes?
Yeah, it's pretty close as it is like the last week. If that makes sense. Like we usually keep the same game plan for most games.
So do you guys have an offensive coordinator down there at Kearny?
Yeah.
Does it? So you play in there for a few years. Does his kind of game plan change from season to season, or were you guys pretty much able to stick to the same thing and keep that cohesiveness throughout the years?
Yeah, for the most part. We kind of threw the ball a little bit more when I was like sophomore, but then junior senior year, I feel like we started to run the ball a little bit more.
I like hearing that because it looks like you're going to be able to get into. Have you paid attention to much of the? I would assume so, but you've gotten to meet a lot of the coaching hires that have came in here at Washington State. It looks like we're going to be a ground first team again, which I'm super excited for. Going from the air raid, I got to see a lot of players chuck the ball. I don't know if you know who Connor Halliday is, but that was kind of my heyday watching Cougar football, where he's throwing for 500 yards a game and 6 touchdowns. So it's going to kind of be nice to see that change again. Where do you see yourself fitting into a run first offense, and do you think it's something you're going to be comfortable in?
Yeah, for sure. That's what running is my favorite thing to do in at Kearny High. So, and we're pretty good at it. So,
You're going to be able to do it again. So then you guys make a trip over to PLVS. Novacek lights it up through the air. 227, 2 touchdowns, rushes 19 times for 110 yards with a run going almost the entire length of the field. Noctigal ran 13 times, 64 yards and a touchdown, and then you guys had Josh Dolance who had 156 yards receiving, and your O-line allowed 0 sacks the entire game. Total yards on the ground was 191. With a quarterback that when he has time, and I'm not saying that he didn't have time prior, but when he has the time and the ability to start hurling the ball like that, does your guys' confidence just go through the roof when you can do it both ways and nobody's stopping you?
yeah, for sure.
When did you guys know that you were going to win that game? Was it the first quarter, second quarter?
Well, the first drive of the game, they had the ball and they marched it in on us and scored a touchdown. And then we did the same thing back to them. And then, yeah, we just battled it out and then got the win.
That's awesome. Millard North, 36-33 overtime game. Novacek throws for 128, 2 touchdowns. Longest of the day was 77, going to Zaire Legrone. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
He was on the receiving end of a 77-yard bomb, and Sam Noctigal rushes 17 times for 94 yards and a touchdown. Kearny gets 4 total touchdowns. The O-line only allows 1 sack total, and the team had 190 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Run me through that overtime period against Millard South. Was that kind of one where you guys were uneasy the whole time, or was it one where you guys knew once the overtime period started you were winning it?
Yeah, so there were about I think we got our PAT blocked 3 times in a row during that overtime. So I'm gonna be honest, the third time it got blocked, I was like, shoot. But we trusted in our defense and they came in clutch and then we ended up scoring.
Yeah, you're almost like, what do we do? How do we stop that?
Yeah.
Then you guys go to Columbus. Not a close game at all. Or pardon me, Columbus comes to you guys, but not a close game at all. 43-14. Another one. Novacek lights it up. 170, 2 touchdowns. Another one, longest throw of the day was 75 yards to Luke Brashiel.
Broccoli.
That's how you say that. That's awesome. That's not what I would have expected from the writing. Knocked to go rushes for 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and his longest was 72. When you get to see plays that are going for excess of 70 yards, what does that do for you guys knowing that, hey, we get a quick break off the field? I mean, that's kind of awesome to see, but do you know each time when those guys get going that they're gone?
Yeah, definitely. Not against Columbus, it was senior night, and I think we knew we were gonna beat them pretty good, so we wanted to get our other seniors in the game and for senior night. So yeah.
How many seniors did you guys graduate this year?
I'd say like 20 something.
Oh, geez. So then, is Class A the biggest classification down there in Nebraska?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you guys make a trip over to Bryan. It's your season finale, and your finale ends with a bang, 49-0 shutout. Novacek again. This one was kind of a lesser day through the air, but it looks like you guys had 2 quarterbacks kind of come in that game. So Novacek throws for 60 and a touchdown on his only completion of the game because he only threw 2 balls that game. And then Zach Atchison completes 7 of 8 for 91 yards and a touchdown. There were 5 rushing touchdowns from 5 different players, and Reese catches a 60-yard strike.
Yeah.
What was it like seeing Reese catch that ball?
I don't know. I was kind of surprised because he's mostly a defense first guy, and then I saw someone caught the ball. I was like, "Oh, it's Reese. That's awesome."
60-yard bomb is no slouch either. That's incredible. Was that kind of a game? When did they pull you out? Pull everyone out against Bryan?
I think I played 5 plays that game.
Oh, no kidding. So then it's helmet off and supporting everyone else.
Yeah.
So then we get into the playoffs. You guys play Millard West. Novacek again. He was Mr. Consistent, it looks like, through the year. You knew what you guys were going to get with him. 8 of 11, 128, 2 touchdowns, and he ran the ball 20 times for 90. Your guys' O-line in the first round of the playoffs gave up no sacks, and the defense had 4 total interceptions. What was it like kind of not having a break from your defense taking the ball away every chance they got?
Yeah, honestly, just props to them. I think they're one of the main reason that we won that game for sure. I don't think we could have done it without.
That's awesome. And then you guys had a total of 228 on the ground. When you guys are consistently giving your running backs consistent time to create plays like that, do you think that when you come into Washington State, who kind of has a running back committee right now, we've got 2 great running backs currently on the roster in Leo and Schlenbaker, do you think that that's something you guys are going to be able to do, or you especially, be able to know what kind of running back comes in, and will it change your game plan much when you get on the tackle side of it? Or do you think that it's pretty much just going to be the same formula that you know already?
Yeah, I think it'll be the same. We just have to trust the backs to make right reads, make some big plays.
Prefer to play the right side compared to the left side?
Honestly, I've never really tried the left side. So, but yeah, I'm definitely willing to try it out.
So then we get in. You guys play Bellevue West. You win 32-7. Pardon. Knocked to go another one, 17 times, 88 yards. Novacek runs for 44 and 2 touchdowns. Dulles catches 2 balls, and then one was a long one at 33. The O-line only allowed 2 sacks, and then they ran the ball 46 times for a total of 161. The biggest sack total I saw your O-line give up all year was 2. And knowing that you guys are only giving up 2 sacks a year, does it give, 2 sacks a game, if any, does that give you guys a lot of confidence in knowing that no matter what happens on that offensive line and that you're going to be able to control the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Does it give you a ton of confidence, too, knowing that, hey, I can step in here and I'm controlling the line of scrimmage? Because I didn't see 1 sack you gave up all year.
Yeah, we were super confident as a group in our abilities, so.
And then Millard South. I'm sure you don't want to really talk about these guys at all, but you lost to them in the semis. They go on to play Omaha West Side in the state championship, and then they'd win. So knowing that you lose to them, does it make it a little easier knowing that they were the eventual state champions?
Yeah, I feel like the first time we played them, they whooped us, but the second time we were in that game, and we were a few big plays away from being in that game. So
And that was another one too. I mean, even though you guys lose to them twice, you're able to control the line of scrimmage the whole time. So for me, being a casual, I'm going to call myself casual, but I'm not, but a casual Cougs fan, knowing that you're going to have that confidence to come in every time, whether the score's up or down, to control the line of scrimmage, do you think that it's going to mess with your mentals at all, no matter what the score of the game is?
not at all. We've started out some games where they've been up a lot on us, or we've had we gave up a sack or something, and then we'd bounce back and go and win the game.
That's what I like to hear. So Coach Dickert has flipped 3 recruits over to Wake Forest. What I want to know, as someone who never had the opportunity to actually meet Coach Dickert, I saw a lot of what he had said and a lot of his interviews and stuff of that nature. What is so interesting, and what is the draw to Coach Dickert, especially for you, that made you want to come to Pullman?
Yeah, he's a very likable guy. He's very nice. He just makes you feel at home, honestly.
And that's what set you up there, was just knowing you were coming home.
Yeah.
Have you spent much time up here in the area besides your visit?
No, that's the only time I've been up there.
So I've never been to Nebraska, but a lot of scenery up here to get lost. Is Pullman kind of a nice draw to you because it still has that small town feel, and it's in the middle of nowhere, more or less?
Yeah, and where I'm at, it's 2 hours away from Lincoln. It's a big city. It's the same with Pullman and Spokane.
Yeah, because I'm 20 minutes north of Spokane. So when I go to Pullman, because I do like to frequent and go up there quite a bit, it's a 2-hour drive for me. So I like where I'm at because I go small town to not really a small town, but Pullman sure has that feel, and it's incredible up there. What is your first impressions of Coach Rogers?
Well, the guy knows how to win. We saw what he did at South Dakota State, and excited to see what he can do with the Cougars.
You get a 2-time national champ as a head coach, leaving a stellar FCS program to come to an FCS program to come to an FBS program. Does it get you excited knowing, even though, hey, he's a younger head coach, but he's going to win?
Yeah.
Pardon me. On New Year's Eve, Coach Rogers hired his first coach from South Dakota State, Danny Freon, as the next offensive coordinator. Have you gotten to have any conversations with him at all, or have you paid attention much to the SDSU offense this year?
They're run offense, aren't they?
They are run first. Pardon. Sorry. No, you keep going.
Yeah, I went to a junior day at South Dakota State, and so I'm kind of familiar with all those coaches from up there.
Oh, right on. And cool school up there. I mean, when you get SDSU and NDSU consistently playing in the playoffs over there all the time, I mean, it's pretty cool to see North South Dakota represented all the time. Have you gotten to make many trips over there, being semi-close?
I've only been to South Dakota State once.
Did you visit there for a trip or anything, or did they recruit you at all?
Yeah, it was recruiting little visit.
Oh, so you got to meet him a little bit already on a recruiting visit to a degree.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So at least you got some sort of familiarity when you come up here in the spring.
Yeah.
So Freon spent 1 season as a play caller at South Dakota State. He split as the OC with offensive line coach Ryan Olson. I'm not sure if he's coming, but it kind of sounds like Coach Olson might be coming this way to Pullman. What do you think about a coach being able to split the offensive coordinator role with an offensive line coach, and what gets you excited about that? Do you think there's going to be a lot more plays coming your way with an O-line coach saying, hey, let's run the ball?
Yeah, I feel like the offensive line coach would really understand like the run game more and understand how to utilize the linemen. So that's good.
For his time at South Dakota State, he spent 12 years at North Dakota State, where he was the offensive coordinator and QB's coach from 18 to 23. He was the assistant head coach at NDSU, and then they were averaging 34.1 a game, or 34.1 points a game. What do you think the point totals at NDSU, or do you think he will be able to replicate those point totals at NDSU, at Wazzu, no matter who's kind of running the offense with the guys that are there currently?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you gotten to meet and get close with any of the current guys on the offensive line, or let alone anyone on the team right now?
Yeah, on my official, I was like assigned. You get like assigned a player kind of to guide you,
Yeah.
and I guess the Carson Osmus.
Oh, okay.
He's a real cool guy.
It seems like it. Seems like it. And then I guess with the recruiting class that you got coming in, including yourself, have you gotten close to any of the guys that are getting ready to come on with you?
Yeah, we have a group chat, and some of the guys are really funny, so it's always fun to look at that.
I was hearing about a little bit from that from my first interview that I ever got the opportunity to do. If you're seeing this, I loved it and I had a great talk with you, but was with Javon Clark. And he was telling me a little bit about all the guys that you have in there, and it seems like a good little cohesive bunch that you guys already have with that. Not only that, I got the opportunity to talk with Galen McNeil, and then I put a little teaser on my Instagram today. So I'm going to have the conversation with you because everyone will kind of find out as it comes. But I have you today. I have David today as well, like I was telling you. And then I get to do Luke Webb tomorrow and Peyton Reed tomorrow. I'm just super stoked because all you guys in this class just seem super ready to get rolling on the ball. So the Jackrabbits offense averaged 36.7 points a game, number 4 nationally. They averaged 236 rushing yards, which was number 3 nationally, and then they had 198 passing yards kind of total. These numbers are extremely similar to your guys' numbers that you had at Kearny. Kind of as an outsider looking in, and I know I've kind of in a way already asked this question, but what do you see yourself fitting into an offense like that?
I feel like it'll be kind of the same role. We'll have a lot of leaders on the offensive line, and we'll create good plays for our quarterback and running back.
There you go. You were a 2024 Class A All-State offensive lineman. What does that mean to you?
A lot. That was my goal coming into the season, to be on that list. So it's great.
Have the opportunity to do that is awesome. What was it like? Not only receiving that offer, but were you the only one that got that from your high school, or at least an honor that was similar?
We had our kicker, and then I think a few linebackers also get that, and Zaire Legrone Miller, I think, the receiver guy.
Right on. So then, talking about kind of the defensive part of it, I mean, the most points that you guys really let up all year was against Millard North. Well, pardon me, Millard South. But other than that, you guys' defense was able to keep everyone in check throughout the season. What was it like knowing that you were going to have your defense give you guys consistent breaks on the offense?
Yeah, it was great. I think we had maybe the second best defense in the state, so we could always rely on them to make plays and shut out the offenses.
Let's kind of change it up a little bit and let's get talking more about your basketball season. So, have you guys already started and are you getting into games, or is it kind of the start of the season beforehand?
Yeah, we played like 10 games already, I think.
How's the season going for you?
Good. I think we're 8-2.
Oh, right on, right on. Have you been able to make a playoff push there already at Kearny in basketball?
No, we've lost in the district championship the last 2 years. So
You guys are coming back with a fire this year, is what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's the same as football.
Oh, right on. So you're getting ready for a fun year. Notable alumni that I saw coming out of Kearny was Dallas Cowboys kicker Brett Maher. Is there anyone else that you have that was a famous athlete that you knew came out of that high school?
Oh shoot, that's a good question. I forgot his name. It's Larson. I think he punted. He punted for the Bengals.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I'll look it up and I'll put it on here, at least on the screen. But I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on the name too. Darn it. What's your favorite NFL team? Who have you been paying attention to the most this season? And then obviously we're getting kind of into the end of the playoff push. So who are you looking at to be the NFC champ and the AFC champ?
Well, my team is the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, kind of a rare team to like, but and then honestly, this year I really flipped into a big college football type of guy.
You and I
I
both.
was a big football guy, but not as much now.
You know, I was the same way. I'm a huge Seahawks fan, obviously, being from up here. Not very many people like the Hawks. I understand why. But yeah, college football this year, I've always been a big fan of Washington State. But this year, being able to watch the magic that Mateer had, Wayshawn Parker, David Gusta, as well as KT, Kyle Thornton, unsung hero this year. But I've made that kind of transition too. Were you mainly then watching Cougs games since you committed compared to Huskers?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What was your favorite, if you have one, what was your favorite moment from the season this year for Washington State?
Oh, Kyle definitely. Shoot, what's his name? Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams game against Syracuse.
Man, that Holiday Bowl was so awesome to see. And actually, let's get into that. So, knowing kind of the turmoil that happened, right now it's 36 total players that have hit the portal. Now, that doesn't include those who have stayed. Obviously, we have 6 current right now that stayed, withdrew their name from the portal, and then, slew of household names that left. What was it like seeing those guys that you're getting ready to come in and play with such grit and determination in a game that everyone thought Washington State didn't even have a chance in?
Yeah, it was great. I'm really glad that Zevi is coming back. I thought he had a really good game for his first real start at Washington State.
It was his first FBS start, and to see Zevi go out there and ball, granted, 2 picks, but I don't really take anything away from those interceptions at all. Incredible start, and then actually talking about Zevi with the portal, knowing that he is coming back, does that get you excited for a lot of the playmakers and big names that I assume are going to come back? I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few more that come back, but out of everyone that's currently in the portal, who do you hope withdraws that you'll be able to play with?
I honestly don't know all the names in the portal, but
I could, let me tell you, let me pull it up right now. I've got a ton of names on the portal right now. Let's go offensive line just so you kind of know those guys. We've got Landon and Luke Roten that are both in the portal on the offensive line. And then defensive line, we've got Hiram Benjamin Moores. We've got David Gusta, obviously, one that I've already talked about. And then Bryson Lamb. Those are kind of the 5 guys from the offense and defense. Between those guys, who would you like to play with and see stay?
probably Gusta.
That would be iron sharpens iron as well.
Yeah,
I've had the opportunity to talk with his dad quite a few times, and boy, that's one that I think is going to be an incredible senior for all you guys next year if he were to return. So, Turner, I want to thank you for your time today to sit down and talk football with me. I look forward to watching you play in the Crimson and Gray, and I'm excited to see what this next chapter of football brings for you in the future. I hope that every single Coug fan watching this gives you the utmost support and love like we know how to do. Please give him a follow on his Instagram. I'll put his name below on the screen. And this has been another episode of Catching Cougs. Until next time, thank you and God bless.